President Bola Tinubu, in a national broadcast on Tuesday, said he declared a state of emergency in Rivers because he felt greatly disturbed by the political crisis in the state.
It has become inevitably compelling for me to invoke the provision of the Section 305 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, to declare a state of emergency in Rivers State with effect from today, 18th March, year 2025, and I so do.
Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice on Wednesday said the declaration of state of emergency in Rivers was a compromise to prevent the impeachment of Governor Fubara and Mrs. Ngozi Odu, his deputy. Fagbemi said this while addressing State House correspondents after a meeting with President Bola Tinubu.
Don't forget, I think yesterday there was a notice of impeachment from the House of Assembly. If that impeachment had been allowed to take its full course, then the governor would have lost entirely and completely.
Vice Admiral Ibas, retired administrator of Rivers, on Wednesday said he will work together with all stakeholders to maintain law and order in the state. Ibas said this while addressing State House correspondents after his swearing in by President Bola Tinubu at the Presidential Villa, Abuja.
That is the utmost task that I have, to work together with all other stakeholders to ensure that we bring peace, order, and security and stability to the people and government of Rivers State and Nigeria at large.
Nigeria and Cuba have renewed their commitment to strengthening diplomatic and economic ties, focusing on healthcare, education, and trade. Vice President Shettima described Cuba as a sacred land where every progressive will identify with when he received Mr. Bruno Parilla, the Cuban foreign minister, and Miriam Palmero, Cuban ambassador to Nigeria, at the Presidential Villa. Nigeria and Brazil have signed the commercial phase of the $1.1 billion Green Imperative project to boost agricultural productivity and enhance private sector investment. The news agency of Nigeria reports that GIP is Africa's largest agricultural project prioritizing sustainable, low-carbon farming.
It is imperative for us to synergize and use existing initiatives such as the GIP for the purpose of policy continuity, for the purpose of utilizing, leveraging on strategic opportunities to drive our economic growth and also to enhance investor confidence.
Vice President Shettima has urged the National Assembly to uphold leadership responsibility by prioritizing unity and national development over political divisions and partisan interests. He made the call when President Bola Tinubu hosted the House of Representatives leadership and members to iftar at the Presidential Villa.
And in this sacred month, a month for deep reflection and renewal, which coincided with the Lent period for our Christian brethren, a period for spiritual rejuvenation, it calls on all of us to reaffirm our unwavering commitment to the Nigerian nation.
The Vice President says President Bola Tinubu's bold policies, including the removal of petroleum subsidy, are gradually transforming Nigeria into one of the world's largest economies. Shettima said this when he received a delegation from the Harvard Kennedy School alumni on a Nigeria-Ghana trek at the Presidential Villa, Abuja.
To our friends from Harvard, I would like to warmly welcome you once again. We came to a point whereby we either get rid of the subsidy or the subsidy will get rid of the Nigerian nation. There was a subsidy scam industry. Yes, we are coming up with measures, social palliatives to address the issue of the subsidy removal. But most importantly, we are exploring alternative energy sources. We are investing massively on green technology.
The vice president also said the federal government has shifted Nigeria's flood response from reactive disaster relief to proactive preparedness. Shettima said this during a meeting of the Anticipatory Action Task Force on Floods at the Presidential Villa, Abuja.
Climate change is for real, and there is an incestuous relationship between economy and ecology in the Sahelian zone. But the journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. This is the first time in the history of this nation that efforts are made for anticipatory action, for us to pool our resources and see how we can address our challenges proactively instead of reactively.
The Nigerian vice president has urged lawmakers to enact legislation that will enhance nutrition and food security in Nigeria. Shettima made the call while hosting the National Legislative Network on Nutrition and Food Security at the Presidential Villa.
We must empower the institutions responsible for food and nutrition governance to deliver on their mandates, and this council must take the lead in ensuring that our efforts are strategic, data-driven, and results-oriented.
Mr. Andrew Torrey, Regional President, Central and Eastern Europe, Middle East and Africa Visa Inc., says the corporation will establish a data center in Nigeria. Torrey said this during a courtesy visit to the Vice President Kashim Shettima at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. Torrey said the data center was an addition to the card payment service company's investment of over $1 billion in the country.
If we want to improve on agriculture, we have to embrace modernity. Improved agricultural prices, improved seeds, fertilization, intermediate technology, partnership between the people and government of Nigeria and Visa will only grow by leaps and bounds.